Good afternoon. Welcome on in today's episode of From Day One. Courtesy of Father Skeptic, we have a strict judge not buying into fugitives' many excuses. Let's begin.
Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today, we head to Kansas, where we have an apprehended fugitive who has 1,000,001 excuses why he needs to be let out of jail, and a no-nonsense judge who thinks otherwise. So let's begin.
But I would, if it's okay, I'd like to address the court.
Well, you understand that possession of marijuana by itself carries up to 6 months in the county jail and a $1,000 fine, or both?
I do. I understood that it was my understanding that it had been decriminalized in the state of Kansas. Now I think that's just the city of Wichita. So I was unaware of that. Obviously, that's no excuse, but I'm not like some stupid stoner. I own a business. I employ people. I smoke a single joint at night so I can sleep.
Okay.
That is
We
literally.
don't want to go any further with that right now. All right, Mr. McCoy, before I could accept any pleas of guilty and accept your statements of conviction in the case, you would have to waive your right to legal counsel in the case. You do have a right to legal counsel. If you can't afford one, the court will appoint one for you. Are you sure you don't want to talk to a lawyer about this?
Well, how much trouble am I in actually? Like, would you actually sentence me to jail for this? It's a first offense.
First offense, my ass. I mean, if this was your first offense, then you wouldn't have violated probation from your last offense, and you wouldn't have an active warrant out for your arrest.
Well, I'm not going to plea bargain the case with you here. Nor am I going to
Understood.
give you
No,
any
understood.
indication
Understood.
what my sentence might be. The B misdemeanors are punishable by up to 6 months in the county jail and up to a $1,000 fine apiece. No valid driver's license is a Class B misdemeanor as well. And speeding is punishable by a scheduled fine, but it could be up to $500 theoretically.
So I'm fine with the fines. The only reason my driver's license is not valid is because I was out of town working.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it was expiring. And so I was literally on my way back in town. I haven't had a chance to get it validated yet or get it renewed.
Okay.
It's not like I was intentionally driving without a license.
All right. Before I readdress the issue of potential waiver, waiver of counsel, I want to address the other matter that concerns you. State of Kansas versus Dennis J. McCoy, case number 2023 MR 59. Apparently, that's a fugitive information. Based on the information before the court, Mr. McCoy, Sarpy County, Nebraska has made a demand for your surrender involving a charge of controlled substance, possession of cocaine, a Class 4 felony in case number CR 19561, stemming from allegations from incidents which allegedly took place in October of 2020.
Yes, sir. So I went to court for that and I was assigned probation. When I went to the probation office, they said, okay, I made it clear that I was not a resident of the state of Nebraska. And they said they were going to try and transfer my probation to Sedgwick County. The probation officer called the Sedgwick County probation's office. They said because I had pled it down to a misdemeanor that they would not accept the transfer. They were only accepting felony probation transfers.
According to the paperwork before the court, Class 4 felony is listed, not a misdemeanor.
And so that was the original charge. I had made a plea bargain. I pled guilty in exchange for a misdemeanor. I went to probation. They gave me 2 years, and then so the Sedgwick County wouldn't accept the transfer. The probation officer comes back to me and says, I don't know what to do about this, and the judge is left for the day. I was told I could go home and that they would call me. They never called me.
Okay, so there are a couple of points of mental impotence to point out here. First, when you're on any type of probation, especially felony probation, it is your job to make sure that you're in compliance, because probation is not an adult daycare for living brain donors. And second, when you plead guilty to a felony with the option of having it reduced down to a misdemeanor, it's typically still a felony until you successfully complete probation.
The real question, Mr. McCoy, is, do you want to arrange for your own transfer back to Nebraska and deal with this? That's what we call a waiver of extradition. instead of requiring a governor's warrant to be issued, you would just simply agree to waive extradition procedures and instead
Go back to
agree to
Omaha.
voluntarily go back to Sarpy County, Nebraska, and face whatever it is that you do face there. Do you want to
Am I
consider
able to
doing that?
go under my own strength?
I don't see any indication here there's a bond. So I think my answer would generally be no.
And there's no way we can work around that. Like, I own a business, I employ people. Payroll isn't gonna happen if I can't get out of here. I have projects starting that are gonna completely flop is there no way for me to do like house arrest and wait for them to come and get, I realize you guys are required to hold me and give Sarpy County the opportunity to come and collect me. Is there no way that can be done from like house arrest? So I can still run my business? I will lose absolutely everything. I'll lose my home, I'll lose my business, I'll lose my vehicles. Like, is there no way we can come to some sort of resolution where I'm still held accountable yet able to continue running my business? I employ about 33 people that will not get paid on Friday if I cannot get out of here and do payroll.
You should have thought about that before going on the run for more than a year from probation. I mean, clearly you were aware of your warrant status, so why did you even bother putting 33 people at risk of not being paid for their job? Now, if you ask me, I don't think he did anything wrong to those people, because all of those people only exist in his imagination, and he's up there trying to bullshit an unbullshittable judge.
Not to mention I will lose absolutely everything that I've spent the last 6 years busting my butt for. I work 300 days and some change a year. I'm home 1 to 3 days a month. I'll lose everything. I'll lose everything.
Enjoy.
All right, so my question again is, do you wish to waive extradition and agree to return to Sarpy County, Nebraska to face whatever it is that you do face there on this probation matter?
What does that mean? Can you tell me what that means exactly? What's the other option and what does that mean as well?
You would be held in jail and then you could require Nebraska to go through extradition procedures and seek a governor's warrant.
Okay, and the other option?
I mean, like what?
I thought you said I had 2 options.
Yes, either force Nebraska to go through extradition procedures or do a waiver of extradition, which is a voluntary agreement to return to the state of Nebraska and face.
And will you guys return me to Nebraska or do I have to wait for them to come and get me?
You're probably going to have to wait for them to come and get you, and they probably aren't going to come and get you as long as you have this Kansas case pending.
So again, I ask you, is there any way to do this from a position of house arrest so I can continue to run my business?
Okay, my answer would be no. Not
So
as far as Nebraska is concerned.
I'm just gonna lose everything.
Well, all right, that's not involved here, Mr. McCoy. I just have business I have to conduct.
I understand that, but I'm trying to find out if there's a way for us to come to some sort of agreement wherein I don't have to lose absolutely everything.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm obviously concerned about your Kansas case because of the way you handled the Nebraska case.
Well, and I can understand
this
that.
probation case, December 30th, 2019, and it's still pending. You never did.
And that's because I tried to deal with it and they said I could leave and they never called me back. I called them. They said, we'll call you back again. They never called me back. And then 11 months later, I got a warrant out of the blue. When I got the warrant, I called them and I said, hey, what is this about? I've been waiting to hear from you guys. They kept demanding I give them my location so they could have me picked up and that I come turn myself in immediately. And like this all just spiraled out of control. When I went to court twice and the probation office immediately after I was given probation in an attempt to deal with this because I didn't want exactly this to happen.
And what exactly did you think was going to happen when you failed to show up to probation for over a year? Maybe that thing that you exactly didn't want to happen, that's exactly happening right now, would exactly happen.
I didn't want this hanging over my head. I'm trying to take my business internationally and I can't even get a passport renewal. So I just turned 35. When I turned 35, my trust fund is meant to distribute me $150,000. I was going to take that opportunity to deal with Sarpy County. I never intended not to deal with Sarpy County. I just had to do it from a position where I wouldn't lose everything I've worked for. So I need to get this distribution. I need to set it up in my account so I can have everything auto withdrawal from that. and then I'm free to go. Sarpy County can throw me in jail if they want. But everything on my end will be secured. Right now, it's not, and I'm at risk of losing absolutely everything. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get all of this resolved as neatly and as orderly as possible. I never intended not to deal with Sarpy County. I just had to do it from a position where I wouldn't lose everything. And now I'm right back in that position anyways. I'm not here to run. I want to cooperate and I want everything accomplished so I can put all of this behind me and just move forward with my business, with my life. I'm so close to financial independence, and that's all about to disappear.
All right, Mr. McCoy, regarding the Kansas case, 2023 CR 323, the marijuana paraphernalia, no valid driver's license, and speeding case. Are you wanting to waive counsel and enter a plea today? You don't have to. I recommend against it, but you communicated earlier that that's what you wanted to do. I just want to.
Yes, I would like legal counsel.
All right, very well. The court will appoint Darren Patterson to represent Mr. McCoy.
Can I get my own lawyer?
You can.
I have a lawyer. His name is Eric.
Who's your lawyer?
Eric Kidwell.
Okay. You can
I don't
certainly
believe
get
I have
Mr.
him on-
Kidwell to represent you.
Say again.
You can get Mr. Kidwell to represent you if you want to.
You-
I just want to make sure the next time you see a judge on this Kansas case, you have a lawyer. Now, if you tell me you've got the resources, apparently you do, and you're going to hire a lawyer, then we'll go with that. Is that what you want to do, Mr. McCoy?
That is what I want to do, but I'm
All right.
curious how I'm supposed to do that from in here.
The same way everybody else does it from jail, with Bubba's permission.
There's a bond in my Kansas case, as I understand it, correct?
I haven't set one yet.
Oh, I was told there was a $3,000 bond when I was booked in.
I don't know where that comes from, but it's very possible the jail
Set a bond on there.
schedules your position that remaining the bond, Mr. Regier.
Your Honor, I don't know about any bond that's already been set in this case. If the court is prepared to set a bond, state would suggest that $3,000 is relatively minimal. In addition to the Nebraska case, which the court has already referred to, my understanding is that this defendant does have some prior failure to appear history in Kansas as well. If
That was when I was a kid. I am not going
Hey,
to fail to appear.
don't talk over me, please.
I'm sorry.
I'll set bond in the Kansas case at $3,000 cash or professional surety required. Show that he's going to retain counsel, most likely Eric Kidwell, but he's going to retain counsel. And the date that I have for the misdemeanor docket is October 2, 2023 at 9:00 a.m. October 2, 2023, 9:00, Judge Webster's Court. So at this point, there's a not guilty plea entered on behalf of the defendant pending further proceedings in October. All right, moving to the extradition case. I don't see that court established any bond in the case. I get the impression, Mr. McCoy, that you're not wanting to waive extradition. Is that correct?
Well, how exactly does that work? I'm stuck in here no matter what, right?
All I know is that if you were able to post the bond in the Kansas case,
That I would be released?
no. Sheriff's normal protocols at the sheriff's department at the jail will contact Sarpy County, Nebraska. And I think some determination will be made whether you're going to be sent there or not. But a lot of times they're going to want you to have your Kansas case taken care of before you're shipped across state lines.
So does that mean I'm potentially being held until October?
Yes? Potentially.
Sir, I am not a criminal. This does not seem proportionate.
Excuse me, but
Yes.
what makes you think that this is not proportional when they offered to reduce your felony down to a misdemeanor and allowed you to serve your time outside of jail on probation?
Look, when Nebraska officials are notified, I don't know what they're going to tell the jail staff. Maybe their judge will set a bond for you in the Nebraska case. I do not know. What
How
I just
long-
need to do, either, it doesn't appear to me that you're in a position to waive extradition. So I'm going to go ahead and set this matter for another hearing.
What does that mean, not in a position to waive extradition?
Did you tell me that you wish to waive extradition?
I'm still not fully understanding exactly what this means.
Then maybe you need to have a lawyer explain it to you.
Dun, dun,
Because
dun.
my attempts to explain it to you just haven't been.
So you're saying if I waive my right to extradition, then they can come and get me. If I don't, they have to jump.
You're eligible for that, but I do not know if that's what will happen. I make no
Okay,
promise.
I would like to waive it. I would fine.
All right, do we have a waiver of extradition form that can be presented to him?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please read it thoroughly. If you have any questions, ask before you sign.
We do mean read it
I
thorough.
may not be able to give you an answer, however, to your question.
Am I still, is the sheriff's office here still going to attempt to see if Sarpy will set a bond if I sign this?
I don't know if they're going to attempt to see if they're going to set a bond or not. Normally, their protocol is to notify the Nebraska officials that you've waived extradition and that you're at least eligible for return, but you've got a Kansas case pending.
Is there no way to move up the trial of the Kansas case? Or can I not?
Your attorney can make that request.
How do I get an attorney from inside jail?
Talk to the jail staff about that.
Alright guys, that's the end of the video. He signed his extradition waiver,
Yeah.
and his next court date is early October, so you know I'll keep you posted. So if you liked the video,
And I'll
leave a
get
like. If you
I'll get-
disliked it, leave a dislike. But don't forget to leave a comment below and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss any of my content. I'm Team Skeptic.
And I definitely thank you. And if it does go to Omaha, I'll get you that record for it. Father Skeptic. And with that, we will bring the afternoon to a close. Come on back tonight for some more fun, and crazy substance as we march along here from day one. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you tonight. And it looks like we're going to win that last fight. See you tonight.